Major funding for these broadcasts has been provided by grants from New York Community Bank, AmTrust Title Insurance Company, Perfect Building Maintenance, M&T Bank, Customers Bank, Marks Paneth LLP, Capital One Bank, Collins Building Services, Meridian Capital Group. Additional support has been provided by grants from AKA Hotel Residences Corman Communities, Ariel Property Advisors, Amerant Bank, Bank of America Merrill Lynch, Briarwood Organization, Chase Commercial Mortgage Lending, Chase Commercial Term Lending, Citizens Bank, Dime Community Bank, Douglaston Development Levine Builders, Flushing Bank, Friedman LLP, Handro Properties LLC, Handler Real Estate Organization, Hodges Ward Elliott INC, Investors Bank, James D. Kuhn Real Estate Institute at Syracuse University, John Casamatides Red Apple Group, Keysight Capital Partners, Matone Group, New Banks, Newmark Knight Frank, Ocean First Bank, Optimum Window Manufacturing Corp., People's United Bank, Rockefeller Group, Rosewood Realty Services, Stonehenge NYC, SVN CPEX Real Estate Services, Tierra CRG, the Marengo Family Foundation, and these friends. Oh boy, retail. People are scared of retail, but the world is not bad in retail. It's a misconception. There's a perception out there. So today I've assembled individuals who are involved in retail, in all different aspects of retail. One of them happens to be the banker who lends to the individuals in the retail market, Paulo Garcia, who is the market managing director for real estate finance for Amerant Bank. Then we have the broker, Jeffrey Roseman, who is the executive vice chairman at Newmark Knight Frank. Then we have the fund manager, who's very active in retail in the New York market and in Europe, Ron Dickerman, who's the president, founder of Madison International Realty. And last but not least, we have the owner. We should call him the man who loves Soho and the meatpacking district, Jared Epstein, who is a principal at Aurora Capital. People would say, bankers lending on retail? Why do you like retail?
Well, first of all, retail, it's become, and I would say unjustly, a bad word, especially in the banking sector. A lot of my colleagues tend to have a herd mentality. And so for whatever reason, they're not as keen on lending to retail, and that's opened up new opportunities for those of us who understand the markets and who, more importantly, have relationships that understand their retailers very well. And you can get a very good loan that pays much nicely than a similar type risk. So yeah, we're pretty active. We like it.
The irony is that you and I both didn't realize that you lent money to this individual on certain retail, because off-price retail, Target, TJ Maxx, Burlington are doing great, and you have a property over there in that market.
Our company, an LLC, which I'm blessed to be a partner in at 483 Broadway, has a master lease on the ground floor, second floor, lower level, in between Broome and Spring on Broadway, about 40,000 feet, and we were able to put together 30 of it by digging down and excavating. Because of big box laws in Soho, we couldn't have TJ Maxx go up to the second floor, so we figured out a way to bring them down to the lower level, signed a lease at approximately $4 million a year, and had the pleasure of dealing with the banker to refi out all of our equity. And now we enjoy the cash flow.
Now we have a private equity individual who's had retail all around the world And then over the last, what is it, about 10 years when you bought the first 49%?
Started in 2011, so
Right,
just about 9 years.
9 years, who bought the entire Forest City Ratner New York City retail portfolio. Let's talk about that because that's unique retail.
Sure, very unique. And the facts are we actually bought it in pieces. Our first acquisition was a 49% interest to facilitate Forest City's development of Barclays Center, which is at the time was a hole in the ground directly across from what we now own, which is Atlantic Center and Atlantic Terminal. And our view was sticking close to these urban demand drivers like what was going to be Barclays and what is 42nd Street and Times Square probably was a good thing. And our view is transit-oriented retail is somewhat of the holy grail. Atlantic Terminal gets its name because it's directly on top of the intersection of the Long Island Railroad and the New York City subway system. So 3 or 4 years later, when Barclays ultimately opened its doors, we had 2 million people a year coming through Barclays, driving demand in our properties. But the linchpin of what we observed is that this is urban, infill retail. It is highly productive. The rents are still, even today, well below market. But the trick for us is that the leases go on for 10 to 15 years with option periods thereafter, and the store owners are each doing $700, $800 a square foot. So for us, it's a bit of a jigsaw puzzle in terms of moving the pieces around, finding opportunities to drive NOI growth, and also trying to re-merchandise the properties to give our customers and our patrons the type of tenancy that they really want.
Now, what's also interesting, you inherited certain Times Square retail.
We did indeed. The Madame Tussauds Wax Museum complex on 42nd Street is our largest retail holding. And our view is Times Square is rumored to be the #1 tourist destination in the United States, and we have the second largest retail asset in Times Square. So what's also interesting is Madame Tussauds, as we were talking about earlier, pays no rent until 2032. And the reason is it was the initial gift to Bruce Ratner, the developer of the property, and really triggered a lot of the gentrification and redevelopment of Times Square. We'll own these properties for a while, and our objective is to re-tenant and to re-merchandise the assets, to facelift and renovate the properties and make them interesting. When you go to Barclays today and you turn around and look at Atlantic Center and Atlantic Terminal, it doesn't look like there's enough food and beverage offerings and things that would attract the Barclays customer. Times Square is a different story. It's really about tourism.
Madame Tussauds is paying rent. You're just not paying ground rent. Is that what you meant?
No, I meant that Madame Tussauds isn't paying rent to us, and we're not paying pro rata ground rent on that tenant. And the ground lease and the tenant leases were structured coterminous in order to be respectful.
Did you pass along the free rent to them to entice them to open there, or?
Well, it was a requisite for building the 42nd Street complex to start with, and the hotel, which is directly behind it.
The whole street was a.
I remember you were heavily involved in leasing.
Yeah, but it was, if you remember the movie, Taxi Driver. That's what 42nd Street was.
Right.
Sure.
And so they needed incentives to entice not just retailers but attractions.
How is Times Square doing? Because, there's been a mixed conception. People are a little upset that portions of Times Square, the neighborhood, has gone down in value.
Times Square is still, arguably the most vibrant retail stretch in the world. I mean, when you think about how many people come through there a year, how many events are there, the traffic, 24/7, 365 is just unmatched, and retailers are doing business. I mean, the restaurants that are in Times Square, while they might not be, restaurants that we frequent.
To quote my friend Shelley Fireman, I should have gone to Times Square 50 years ago.
Well, I did a deal with Shelley when he moved Bond 45, and he's hitting it out of the park in the new location. But if you think about all the other restaurants, Bubba Gump and Red Lobster and Olive Garden and Carmine's, they're all doing.
Applebee's, they're the highest grossing Applebee's in the world.
Right. It's very healthy. It's still very healthy.
So let's talk about you. You like Soho and the meatpacking district.
Yes.
But something came out interesting, that the meatpacking district hasn't had enough people. So you're thinking of subsidizing the transportation?
Well, first of all, my reason for liking Soho, I actually lived and walked the streets in Soho from the time I moved into the city in 2002. So I saw that there was this separation between sales volumes and rents in Soho, a much bigger gap between rent and sales volumes than there was on Fifth Avenue, for example, between 49th and 59th Street, where tenants were doing, $2,000, $3,000 a foot and paying $1,000 a foot. In Soho, they were doing $1,000 a foot and paying $100 a foot. So 10 to 1 is a lot greater than 5 to 1. So that was Aurora's initial hypothesis of why buy Broadway in Soho, for example. The Meatpacking District is, in my opinion, the greatest little pocket of commercial space in the city, and that's because of the West Side Highway, the High Line, the Whitney Museum, the affluent residents to the south, the Google and other tech companies to the north, the street grid, which is unlike any other street grid in Manhattan, the cobblestone streets, the unique architecture, the fact that it's landmarked, and the fact that landmarks allows you to do modern additions in this neighborhood, unlike any other area in the city. And bringing people to the neighborhood, that's what it's all about, to drive retail sales volumes, which is correlated to rent. You have to have people there that are going to shop.
I mean, you have some beautiful products that
Thank
you've done. The RH over there.
Yeah, it's a great building. So RH, when we had the idea of bringing them to this neighborhood, instead of, they were working on 200 Lafayette initially with General Growth at the time, with Sandeep, and I met with Gary and his co-CEO at the time and said, guys, you go there, your business, you'll do $30, $40 million. It'll be a fine store. It's not the best part of Soho, and Soho is not your customer. You need to be in the heart of the Meatpacking District. They signed the lease in 2013, I believe. It took them a long time to build out the store, and they were waiting for the perfect moment when the cobblestone streets were redone throughout the neighborhood. He opened, and in year one, he did $100 million in volume, $12 million on the roof as a restaurant without a liquor license.
Without a liquor license.
Without a liquor license, the stock went from 25 to 240. It's up tenfold.
It's wonderful. Paulo, you've recently done a deal in the suburbs. Talk a little bit about that.
Yes, I believe you might be referring to the deal we did in Westchester Village, in close to Eastchester. That's another one of our existing relationships. Ashkenazi Acquisition Corporation found this great site. And it's not only retail. Retail is about 30% of the overall revenue of the project. There's also medical office and some regular office. So we like that about the project, that you're not just retail. You have several demand drivers and elements bringing traffic into the project, such as medical office, which gets a lot of traffic. And they bought the project. What we believe it's a great basis in Westchester County. The retail rents are very reasonable. They're averaging around $40 a square foot in a market where you could do a little bit more than that easily. So we believe in their plan. They plan to redevelop the existing retailer in the space. They probably plan to bring in a chef curated restaurant to bring still more traffic into the project. We like the product, and we like the fact that you not only had the reliance 100% on retail, but you also had the medical office.
What about the food halls? What's your thoughts as a landlord?
Without food and entertainment, a neighborhood just dies and it's stale. So to have a food hall or multiple restaurants,
which would be a perfect way in Atlantic Terminal.
It sure would.
Okay, because
and we're laser focused on that. That's going to be the next incarnation of Atlantic Center. Will be food and beverage offerings on Atlantic for customers and patrons of Barclays Center. And part of the rub for us is that there's such a varied customer base. It's not all about basketball. It used to be about hockey, but it's also about concerts and families. And eventually Pacific Park Properties will have 8,000 units directly proximate to Atlantic Center, Atlantic Terminal. And our view is those are our customers, and we need to offer F&B that's attractive to all of them.
Yeah.
And it's okay many times to let it be a loss leader. Like Pastis, for example, could never pay the rent at the time that we were doing the deal in the Meatpacking to bring them back. But by having them anchor Gansevoort Street, we knew that it would lift all of the ships within the Meatpacking.
Jeff, you've been heavily involved in the health clubs and one of the initial guys in Equinox and so on. What do you see the health clubs and the gyms and the other amenity types of things taking place?
Well, fitness has exploded in the past, 5+ years. When you think about it, years ago there used to be, just regular basic gyms, and now you have, so many different types of boutique fitness studios between spinning and boxing and Pilates and yoga, and so they've been a huge taker of space. Equinox is, to me, they're the best at what they do. They just keep staying relevant, and they keep investing in newer brands. And so, health and clearly the other side of that is wellness. I mean, that's a whole...
Right, and at one time you were one of the leading guys with City MD.
Yeah, one of my associates has been rolling them out all over the city. The medical... The medical users have also been, even the big hospitals, they're taking up a lot of space. They're all sort of trying to get into that concierge space of just doing it a better way. I think overall in retail, if I had to pick the buzzword, of what's been happening the past few years, everyone talks about this, the apocalypse, and I don't buy it. What I buy is better mousetraps. Everybody is just doing what we became accustomed to better.
I know you've made an involvement besides the property on Broadway. You've done one in the boroughs, which is what I said before, in off Kings Highway. So, I think if you have the well-placed retail, you're fine. What about the landlords? And I hate to say the two of you are the landlords in the room. Have you reduced your rent review to more realistic numbers, as they would say?
Absolutely. In Soho, for example, on Broadway, we were able to sign a peak rent with Nike, which at the time was about $1,000 a square foot. Broadway, Soho, there's just a massive amount of shadow space, tenants that are doing, very low sales and really can't afford to pay the rent, but they're there, so making it look better than it appears. But there's probably 50 spaces on Broadway that can be made available if there was a pulse from a tenant that had credit that could pay to be there. So where rents were $1,000 a foot, I'd say the average rent in Soho now is probably around $300 a foot on Broadway. Prince and Spring went from $750, $1,000 to about $500 a square foot. So yeah, there's it's economic, supply and demand. There's way too much supply now and less demand, so everything's balancing out.
But if you want to hear about an apocalypse, think about a capitalized valuation of a retail asset when rents go from $1,000 a foot to $500 a foot using a 4 or 5 cap rate. I mean, You're talking about massive value destruction. So, that's part of the narrative about the retail apocalypse is there's changing equilibrium, changing rent levels, and that's impacting valuations. It's lenders and rates of return for equity investors.
So if you were a buyer projecting $1,000 a foot, having a space roll in 2 years, and now the market's $500 a foot, you're dead.
You wouldn't buy something valued at $1,000.
No, we wouldn't either. I mean, we buy at the bottom.
We spoke about Soho. We've spoken about, the meatpacking district, an area that both you and you own property is in Harlem. You were originally involved with Harlem USA. So the market has changed completely over there. How do you see the Harlem market today?
For us at Aurora, we own 301 West 15th and 5 West 125th Street. We have one space that's vacant out of maybe 50,000 feet of retail. We have 12,000 feet available, but that space has been available for maybe 5 years. White box, beautiful, brand new building, adjacent to TJ Maxx, WeWork, and New York and Company, and there's just not a lot of action on it, unfortunately.
Really? You run? I mean, you have
For
a
us,
limited...
it's been very stable. We're on 125th Street in Harlem. We love the development and the gentrification that's continuing to go on. I would say that the retail opportunities are limited just in terms of the number of tenants that we think are appropriate for our location, and we do have some vacancy to fill, and we're being relatively selective about it.
I just want to mention there's like the low end, which is the off-price retailers that you're mentioning, TJ Maxx, Target, Marshalls, Burlington Coat Factory. there hasn't been that much disruption in that space, except there's been many tenants that have gone out of business. So the ones that are surviving are thriving.
Right.
The middle of the market, the Gaps, the Old Navies, Victoria's Secret, limited brands, stale, old dinosaurs that are just,
That's why they're closing the Gap.
they're getting destroyed. And then you have the luxury and the aspirational, the experience, and those tenants are doing great. So it's a street like 125th Street is hard, and Broadway and Soho and 34th Street and 42nd Street, because that business
What's
is
your
not great
thoughts
anymore.
in general, open to anyone, on the vertical malls? I remember I was a skeptic on Time Warner Center a number of years ago. But if you followed through over the 17 years, there has been a major transition in the type of tenants who have been there.
From first generation tenants to
Correct.
second generation tenants.
I
for
think you're
sure.
at the second and third generation in many cases.
Except
How
Whole
do-
Foods, it's still their number one store, and
It's still great.
Location, 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 though, right?
But the funny thing
Central
about
Park.
that Whole Foods is, you know, it goes against all rules of a supermarket. They're 2 levels below grade, and they still do, you know, 100-something million.
Nobody
dollars a
needs
year.
to look outside when you're in a supermarket or at the
But
TJ
you got to
Maxx.
carry bags, you know. But they do it. It's incredible.
So who are the new tenants coming into town?
You know, the interesting thing is, again, you know, the perception is the world is going online and everyone wants to shop online, but online retailers only want to open stores. So they're all sort of,
You can't try on suits on an online
you can't do
retail.
a lot of things online. And so, look,
And if you follow, the Warby Parker is opening up more bricks and mortar spaces.
and doing a great job with it.
Correct.
And what Jeff just said is critical, is that most online retailers are now realizing that 1 + 1 = 3, that you have to have a physical store and an online presence, and the two of those together are additive, and I think that really is the future. You know, it isn't as if that online is going to cannibalize physical stores and vice versa. When you're talking about Warby Parker and Bonobos and a lot of the online retailers, when Amazon bought Whole Foods, it was another great example of what's going on in the grocery business, that Amazon figured out home delivery from a warehouse, you know, is not going to be as effective.
I mean,
as what
if we look at the Trader Joe's and the Whole Foods, now you're seeing Lidl coming in, Aldi coming in. Aldi has been increasing their numbers and so on. But you're involved also with a outlet center, they would say, in Staten Island. Tell me a little bit about that.
It's a very unique project. It's at the base of the Staten Island Ferry, which, you know, most of us, you know, I hadn't been on since probably the 3rd grade. and then when I did a little research and realized it's, you know, after Times Square, it's probably the next leading tourist attraction in the country. You know, 25 million people ride the ferry to see Statue of Liberty. It's the best viewing spot for the Statue of Liberty. It's a free ferry. So, you know, New York gets so many tourists who go up to Woodbury Commons to shop.
No offense, Woodbury Commons is different than Staten.
Well, it's a bigger version. There's some more luxury, but you know, if you look at who's in the Empire, you know, you've got Nordstrom, you've got a lot of the you know, H&M, Nike, Shake Shack. You've got a lot of the retailers that Levi's that
See,
you
but
know,
a significant portion was planned with the wheel.
Yes.
And the fact that the wheel is not taking place
Yes.
is definitely having an effect.
or maybe taking place.
I think the interesting thing is
Movie
that,
theaters and the-
online shopping, online retail, for the most part, is a lost leader. They're not making money; they're losing money. They're raising money on valuations that are based on growth. They have to be based on profit now, after WeWork and the debacle. And you can just go onto your Instagram or your TikTok or any of these new social media platforms, and you'll see, just based on all the things that are being sponsored and all of these influencers that are posting things about these brands, the new brands that are building a queue to come into the streets of New York. There's a company called Current Retail, I think it's called Current Retail, a new retail brokerage that's disrupting retail brokerage, because they're making it that not only are we going to represent your rollout and find you stores, but we're also going to publicize you through our audience that has like 100,000 people following them on Instagram. They're going to show your merchandise. They're going to let you know when sales are happening and events are happening. There's just major, I think the buzzword in retail today is not apocalypse, and it's not, I forget the word that you use, but I think it's disruption on every single level.
What do you think with regard to co-working, the WeWorks going into the retail?
Well, we've invested with Hudson's Bay. We're one of the equity partners in what they call their global propco. So we own 40 Saks Fifth Avenue and Lord & Taylor boxes in the United States, including we're also shareholders in the public company, which was the Lord & Taylor headquarters store on Fifth Avenue that was sold to WeWork. And if you asked me several years ago, how do you get a millennial into a department store? That's relatively hard to do. But when there's a WeWork component or a co-working component, maybe that's part of the solution. So our view is these are development sites. They're urban in nature. Not only are we in New York, but we own property in Stamford, Connecticut, Eastchester, New York, and in the heart of Westchester. So these are really interesting opportunities. And our view is co-working is likely part of the solution.
With regard to the Alamo Drafthouse and the movie theaters, what are we seeing?
So Alamo signed a lease downtown 28 Liberty. I think they saw an opportunity to be the only sort of movie theater downtown. I guess there's one in the Battery Park. But movie theaters are certainly an industry that has sort of reinvented themselves as well. Obviously, there's streaming issues, and there's
Which is what Ron and I were saying before. The streaming is the biggest problem.
Right.
Because people have the opportunity to stream, and it's easier to stream in your home.
But you still want to leave
You
your
want the
home.
environment.
I
I know.
think people
I
still
was at
wanna-
the movies
yeah.
yesterday. I saw 1917. So, Apple, you're not dull. Retail is positive. And I think having the four individuals here to provide their insight told me that. I'd like to thank Paulo, Jeff, Ron, and Jared, and see you next week.